Alright, how's it going, everyone? So I'm gonna get rid of all these unnecessary windows. It's actually not that many, it's just the stuff from like starting up the computer. Alright, so I'm gonna move this out of my view. And now I can see everything in front of me. Yeah, how's it going, everyone? Finally made it to our Friday stream, so I think we've been doing okay. I did a little bit of work on this page here on the left before stream. It's not much, but so I'll just have it up for a bit. I haven't retouched this one here on the right yet. I think it's fine so far, but what I want to do is kind of just rebalance, like I said, the values from yesterday. I said that. It's mainly just like, this guy's hands is, kind of dark, and I'm trying to balance that against the light. So what I'm thinking of is kind of making a part of it look a little bit lighter so that it sticks out near the hand. So that basically when they're near each other, they essentially make a certain type of contrast. Um, so I got to figure that out exactly. So I might redo the area around the hands, but other than that, I think most of it kind of works well enough. And stuff over here is okay. Kind of feels a little bit flat. So I know I'm gonna probably redo this guy's face here and add something else to the background. It could be adding more detail here to the wind, or it could also just be adding some detail to the background, like the mountain shapes and stuff. But obviously, if I do that to the wind there, I'd have to do it here. So I'm kind of wondering which one I should go about doing. I also think this area in between these wind streaks on this side needs something because there's too much empty space here. So I know I'm going to add some line work there, but for right now, I'm just going to skip past it and come back to it so I can finish it like later. Alright, so the next pages we're working on are these two here. Didn't clean them up yet, but I did open them up and put them on their, like where they're supposed to be. So that's cool. So I can get started on those. I think I'll also put everything folder-wise together so that the other stuff for it would be out of the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the whole process. Yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with new layer. Wait, no, just need to create a blue layer for these. Go ahead and clean these pages. Bring this to opacity, same thing here. I wonder if I actually see that well enough. It looks fine. Usually go with something about around 10. Get the dustpan joint. Should be already set to about, well, that's the wrong thing. Be already set to about, put it around like 30, but I'll put it at 25 for now. These actually are a bit not as clean as I thought they were. That's okay. Yeah, makes me wonder. I don't think I'll be able to get all of that, but I can do a trick. I learned how to do something new yesterday when I was cleaning up the pages. It was basically like selecting a certain area and then just getting rid of it completely. Okay, so I'll make this thing a bit bigger so we can get these other little dots that are around. And if they're a certain certain level of gray, I can just go ahead and use the color selector and kind of use that to get rid of them. Those are a bit harder to get rid of. Yeah, these are going to be a lot harder to get rid of. Okay, now let's see if we can get these other ones. So I'm going to turn this effect off. And wait, maybe I could actually keep it on since it can help me identify exactly where these values are. I'm going to use the select tool, go to select color gamut. Alright, and I have it set at like 10% for error margin of color. Click that right there. So I see that it selected it, but I wonder if I click, will it get rid of a lot? And it is getting rid of a lot. So I'm going to undo again, and try it again, see if I can set the margin smaller, so maybe it won't select too much. I'm going to put it at like 4. Nope, not worth it. So we're going to leave it alone. Still selecting too much. Okay, I see what it is. It's fine. It's not even that big of a deal. Okay, so I'm going to go over to... Oh no. I wonder if I got rid of that. Let me see. Actually, go to import. It's fast. It's another fast way to just check something. I wonder if I actually forgot to put the jewel on her head. Yeah, I actually did. Okay, cool. Good to know. So I'll be fixing that physically, I assume. And I'll be also adding that in digitally. That's not such a difficult thing to fix. Because at first I was going to end up reversing all the undoing I had already done. So this is how small that line is now. So I can just use a method of, so this is the line work, right? I'll go right on the line work. Actually, no. I'm going to go to the next one. And if I get it right, then I'll go ahead and put it on the line, on the actual lines. Find like the center line. It will be around here-ish. Go there. All right. Go ahead and erase this part right here from the hair. Doesn't look bad. Now I can go ahead and merge it together. Cool. That blue again. Cool. Now we got it. We got the jewel back. Cool. Now I can go ahead and focus on other things. So the line work here in the background is actually pretty dang on light, and sometimes it picks up a certain way. So I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna go over here to the next page, do the same technique. Let me put this more in view. Oh, change it to this. All right. Go to the dustpan, take it down to like 35. Well, actually, let me make sure I undo. Yeah, some of these I actually want. See, when it comes to debris areas, I know that some of those actually make sense for there to be all these little dots. And I may have actually drawn them in there. So, you know what? That might that might be something different. Let me see something here. If I select a lighter color, right? Like let's say we got a really light blue, and I click that. It means that I can also see the line work underneath it at the same time. So I don't actually have to guess, because you see how this line right here has like a little, outline around it. I can basically see that it's there, um, like I can see that that line is there because contrast, because that line is darker than the color I've chosen to outline it with. So that actually might be a better thing instead of just highlighting it with any old color. It's better to probably go after it with a lighter color. See, I'm learning at the same time as doing this while I'm streaming. This is the greatest thing. So we can see all these little marks here, don't belong here. And you would think, oh, this isn't probably going to cause a problem. But when you want to select the whole area or fill a whole area with the bucket tool, you're not going to be able to because these little dots are going to stop you from filling that area. Really happy with how clean my artwork actually is after scanning. I've definitely improved in that regard, just getting things ready to be scanned. Alright, it's looking clean. Alright, cool. So we can turn this effect off. Actually, almost fully cleaned all of this. Everything else is just very light. Go ahead and save. Alright, cool. I always forget to grab the values from the previous layer with all the values on it from the previous page. Okay, it's not working. Alright. Let's go ahead and start with all the skin tones, as we usually do. So this time I'm going to put that away from there. Go ahead and make a new layer. Cool. Go ahead and start with these skin tones. Seen a bunch of manga artists, when they do share their process, they kind of, well, some of them, they fluctuate between like, you know, drawing the pages, and then, see, I like that effect, that's cool. But anyway, drawing the pages, and then after that, they go ahead and start inking some pages, and then maybe after a while they finish one completely on the computer, and then go back to drawing. I kind of like the work in bulk, where I kind of can just do a whole entire process going forward almost consistently. I don't get like burnout from doing that too much. I don't find it too difficult. But I know eventually it could get cumbersome, so I need to figure out an in-between also. But at the moment, you know, I do a whole process fully and then I go to the next part. So I'll sketch out everything. Well, I'll essentially do my thumbnails first after writing. Then after doing that, I'll go ahead and start doing my rough drafts. Like I'll finish all of those. I won't like jump around with that. And since my penciling process is also technically my inking process, because like when I do my rough drafts or my first rough drafts, I do them digitally and I move everything around to create essentially a blueprint to go over. And I make that as neat as I want to go while I have the energy and also mapping out what is important to like have there before I go forward. Because I never want to like jump the gun too fast, then end up with a really bad result because I went too fast or whatever. So I always like to map out everything accordingly. And obviously you learn exactly what you should have had there or what you needed to improve that thing later. Or sometimes like right after you start on that thing. So I've learned a lot doing that, but that's what's working best for me at the moment. Let's get this guy's hair. Of course, I'm going to clean up some of this as well, some of the line work. It's not bad, it just could be a little bit better. And that's what I am willing to apply. Hmm. Might have to redraw this. Thinking of this little part on the shoe, and I'm just like, I feel like that's angled a little off, but again, it's something I could easily do now, but I'm like, alright, I'll come back to it the more I think about it. I like to give myself a little bit of time sometimes when I see little things like that. so that I can really think it through. Because work is work, right? It's fun, creative, or it can be, but it's still work. So I'm like, okay, I might have to change that, or I also might uh, not want to right now. This is not even, oh, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna go ahead and select this joint near his mouth because it's a little light. Okay, this looks perfect. So it looks like we actually will be able to get rid of this without getting rid of much of anything else. If ever that becomes a problem and you do feel like you're going to highlight other things, just get the eraser while this thing is selected and just go over that area specifically. Alright, we got the hard eraser. We'll just literally go ahead and erase it ourselves from that point of view. Now my problem is I can still kind of see that this part that I want to get rid of is still there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and select it again. Wait, if we click this, what happens? Feels like it got too many of them at the same time. Let's try again. Okay, so is that the whole mouth at that point? Right there? Let's see. Alright, we're getting some of it. And we're not getting the rest of it, so that's not good. Okay. What if we're just gonna do the work and cut out of there. That's a little bit too much. Okay. That looks a bit better. Why am I that zoomed in anyway? Just to get one thing. Face looks a little bit better and cleaner. And now since I'm on this layer specifically, I gotta remember to get off of this layer and go back to where, you know, all the other values are that I'm putting down. Here we go. So that's pretty easy. And that's also fine. That's going into the eye. His eye is the same value. So it's not anything I need to really worry about there. Okay. Same thing with this guy's fist here. Gonna go ahead and clean it up a little bit real quickly. Oh, see? Wrong layer. Go back here. Got it. Gonna go ahead and get this guy's hair. And I'm starting to notice that since the drawings are getting smaller, the line work is getting a little bit more shabby. You know, which makes perfect sense. This guy's actually really small on the paper. Guess I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. Make sure I get the rest of these areas here. Because I'm about to go ahead and expand the selection and then fill the selection again so that everything kind of spreads out a certain way. There was a time where I used to put like 6 values on every character, and I didn't realize how much extra work I was giving to myself. And that was like the first 3 chapters. How's it going, Tavon? But yeah, that was like the first. No, it had to be like the first 2 chapters. I would hope I learned before going into chapter 3. I would hope. I would hope I learned by then. But yeah, I know. Just try to make it as simple as possible. It's pretty easy to when you get access to all this stuff to go like, oh, I can rely on this for that. Like I have a weakness with this, but if you know how to make anything look appealing, you'll do that, right? Like to get it done, but also make it look cool. But then you end up realizing that storytelling wise, that stuff didn't need to be there, but you did it for aesthetic, which means, if you still like it in the end later, you can keep it. But if you don't, like, it's basically like I try to figure out a way to. Oh, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Just talking about overdoing values and essentially hiding your weaknesses. But like sometimes you overcompensate with like values, or I was overcompensating with values and stuff. Because I understood a little bit about composition and things of that nature. And I was just like, oh, well, I don't want to draw all this stuff, and which means, you leave enough area blank, and then you don't have anything there. So what do? You have to make it look appealing with values. And nowadays, I'm trying to do more with line work and shape design and stuff. It's a little bit better. And I'm trying to use value less. That way, later when I want to make a big moment happen, that's when I'll rely on shapes. I mean, that's when I'll rely on lighting. Because lighting is, it's a thing that can kind of really amp up a scene. So you can make something more cinematic with the way the camera is placed and the lighting in the scene. And that's what I want to do going forward, just getting better with lighting understanding. So right now, all this stuff is just kind of like graphic designs, flats, some texture here and there, and everything else is basically carried by the line work now. Or a lot more, because even the stuff previously was still carried by the line work. Alright. Now we have all that there. And we're not doing anything super crazy with these areas here. What I can do is kind of leave them alone. It's always important to know that. Like you could just leave it alone. So I'm not going to add any. I used to usually add like a value here, like a certain gray, like in the shoulder areas and stuff like that, because I will leave a certain amount of space for the lighting. But now I'm like, I don't need to do that. It's not this crazy big epic moment. Whereas I'm playing with lighting right now, I'm kind of blocking things out so things can be more simplistic. I'm gonna go back to using all the other like flatter tools right now. Because in the previous 2 pages, I was using, flats and like some blending and stuff like that. Right, I do have a flat marker here that I can use. Went too far right there. Cool. Let's go ahead and fill this area. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to use an actual like pen. So I didn't get that line right there. See, now I'm extra excited, you know, going into the next chapter. I still think these pages look great. But there's like, you know, little stuff I've missed here and there, which means that I have something extra to check next time to keep making sure that I get. It's like, okay, sometimes you forget this. Next time, check it before you scan anything. Actually, it would make no sense if there was a shadow there in the beginning. Well, more so a light source there, since his hair is right there on top of it. Hmm. Okay, now I can kind of fill this back in a little bit here. Alright, now we can essentially zoom out, but I'm going to add another little, like, fake ridge here. Kind of add some dimension to it. Hopefully it works out when you zoom out. Cool. Looks pretty cool. Gonna do the same thing here, except bigger, right? And use bigger shapes. Bigger shapes are gonna read better smaller, so that's what I'm gonna do. Cool. That should look just fine small. Yep, reads just fine. Let's move to about here since that just fills the screen a bit better. Yeah, I learned the whole like bigger detail thing probably from Star Wars. I do not like everything that Star Wars does, but I gotta say, most of the time, when it comes to how they visually treat Star Wars, I think that they have really good aesthetics when it comes to what they do with everything. So I'm definitely a fan of Star Wars aesthetic or Star Wars design. Not necessarily function, because, you know, being realistic here, a lot of that stuff doesn't necessarily function like interior wise, at least from what I know of. But they make it look cool. I was watching some sort of documentary style thing, and one of the artists was saying that they learned that when in production they make miniatures or bigger models of the planes and stuff like that. What they do is, if the plane's been to battle and has scars on it, what they do is make those scars really big. If you were to see it up close, you would think it's a bit what is it called, excessive, like it doesn't look realistic. Because once you know how big a bullet is that the plane would shoot out and stuff like that, you'd know that it wouldn't have that big of a streak on the plane like that. But from far away, it looks great and it reads well. If it's too small far away, it might not even read as debris. You would have to take a while to figure out, oh, that's, a battle scar or something like that. But if you put it big, there's no guessing around for it. So, in a movie, you don't have many seconds on screen for every image. It's probably something like 3 to 5 seconds, maybe a little more than that, give or take. But basically, if a person can't figure out what it is they're looking at in those 3 to 5 seconds, then they won't know. It'll become a mystery, and that'll take them out of the movie. So that's why it's like a cool thing to make certain details big and readable. Of course, this is not a movie, but technically, um, a reader's only gonna stay on the page in a fight scene for the same amount of time, I would say. About 3 to 5 seconds, they're gonna move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. No matter how good it is, you want to get the reader to the last panel or the last page in the whole entire chapter, or the whole entire book or story. So you don't actually want them to linger too long. You want them to go to the next one. So I don't want to cause too much confusion with my art, so I try to make it as clear as possible with wherever I am with my skill level. Now he looks evil. But that's also fine, because it works for the scene that we're creating. Alright, so now we can go ahead and start working on things in the background if we want to. I don't probably want to bring too much attention to what's going on in the background. It's not the focal point. Alright, so what we're going to do is make a background layer. Alright, I have to hit those eyes as well. Me and the family just got a Disney Plus again, and my kids have been watching the X-Men show. And man, did not. It's so interesting rewatching it because if you grew up when I grew up, you knew that we weren't out here binge watching anything. We just caught an episode when we got a chance to and checked it out. But seeing my kids watch it and then me checking it out again, I'm like, man, they really were drawing. They were really animating, man. There was a scene where what happened? Someone got knocked through the floor or flew through through all the walls in the ceiling or whatever. And I was like, wow, they really animated all of that. Like, that's pretty freaking cool. It wasn't as super dynamic as it could possibly be or whatever, but it did happen. And there was actually a lot of drawing and movement going on in each episode. So, yeah, that was really pleasing to see. Sun grayscale, normal, we want to know on multiply. Hmm. And actually, since this is a memory, we could also use a very dark gray if we want to. That works well. When you were lucky to catch up. Exactly. Very lucky, right? Hurry up and get dressed. You gotta go to your such and such house. Alright, but I wanted to watch X-Men. Hurry up, boy. You just get it ready and leave anyway. Funny thing was also like I don't think we were into cartoons as much as like I don't know. Like I wasn't into them that much. I watched them, but I wasn't all the way into them yet. It definitely sucked when you had to go get your hair cut or something like that. You had to miss a show that you knew was not gonna come back on or whatever. And this was before everybody had stuff like TiVo or being able to rewind everything that was there. So you just didn't know what happened. And this is before cell phones were everywhere too. So I would have to call my friend on the wired phone connection and be like, "What happened? Tell me what happened." Oh, and you get upset when you hear what happened because like you're only gonna see it when they go, last time on Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. You gotta find out what happened through that just to be able to catch up. It sucked. But since everybody was going through it mainly, it didn't feel that bad, I would say. You're just a lucky kid who got to stay home or whatever. I remember when I had to record episodes that I wanted to see with a what was it? With the VHS. I had to record it with the VHS tape. And then I later realized that, every time you record with that VHS tape, eventually you're gonna record over something you actually want to keep. Ugh. I wonder how many different forms of media we're gonna live through and see change and come out. I remember when cassette tapes were still being around, And then I remember when MP3 players came out. Remember when CDs started getting popular, or were popular, and they were everywhere. Because technically, it was like the end, or it felt like the end of the cassette tape stuff when I was being conscious, which was around middle school, being conscious of things around me. People are still hanging on to their cassettes. And then somewhere around the PlayStation 3 era was Blu-rays, and Blu-rays are still everywhere. And now I think they went up to something called Ultra HD, but that's still on like a Blu-ray disc or something like that. I don't get how that works. I don't know anything about it because I think I stopped collecting DVDs and Blu-rays because you can watch everything just on these, these service things nowadays. I'm analyzing the panels if you're wondering. I'm making sure that I want to do what I want to do. So I know I want to add so our new panel here, we got something there. So I want to definitely add a background here, a little bit of a background. See, will that go out? Yeah, it's gonna go out. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna pick the first one, the first value here. Go ahead and place that down. This does not have to be perfect. I see there's too much of an opening. Let's see, I already have the gap thing all the way up, so I can't really do any better than that. So I'm going to need to just use something else. See, I'm actually doing this with a mouse. I could use my pen, but nah. Interesting. So what I think I'm going to do here, now that I have all this selected, well, I haven't selected it yet, I'm going to select it now. So I'm going to use this airbrush tool, soft airbrush, kind of erase out some things. So, sun is still high in the sky. Well, not completely, right? But it's in the sky. I'm going to use this to kind of erase away and leave a bit, just a bit, to give a feeling of, you know, there being a sun in the sky. And then I'm going to create some freaking clouds using a certain brush. Actually, let's try that other brush that, no, wait, if I do that I might overdo it. Let's try the other brush anyway. Right? So what I'm going to do is just try and see what happens if I give the sky a bit more depth to it here and there. Alright, I think that looks pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like unhighlighted. Yep, and all the stuff all the way over here is going to get cut off, but mainly all this stuff here looks fine. Got some graphic elements going on. I'm definitely going to add these shadows softly underneath of these guys here. Like that looks pretty cool. I can go ahead and erase a bit of it. Alright, character's starting to pop off a little bit more. And what else can I do? Actually, I feel like I can do a bunch. Got the mountains in the background. I got outlines going on there. I might not need to do a bunch of anything actually. That might already actually work. Let's look over here. Now I want to keep your eye, you know, focused on the action on each part of these. So for the second one here, I don't have to do much of anything. It already works. For the first one, so the first one has a side-to-side motion, right? So what I could do is put like speed lines behind it, but I don't think that actually works because it's not going that freaking fast, you know? I'm not trying to, it's not supposed to be that speedy. Okay, let's think. We're still on the right layer. The backgrounds. Yep. Let's go ahead and select the background. Actually, that's fine. See here, gradation. Hold shift. There we go. That's actually perfect. I like it. Draws your eye downward. I'm going to highlight the movement with, oh, I hate when that happens. You know what, I can get away with that as well. All I need to do is erase out of it a bit. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and try and hit these right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. So you can just freehand them if you want to. I don't know why I was able to do that in like one go and then I messed up. Okay. Zoom out. You can see it. Good. It's the same value there. Go ahead and fill this in underneath of shoe. So this will be a little bit darker here. You know, I forgot that I brought up the whole my kids are watching X-Men to also mainly say that the X-Men theme was stuck in my head. I totally forgot to say that. Hmm. Okay. All right. It's looking a bit better. Now here, so the first two panels, right? They read with speed because, you know, both panels don't have any space between them. They're literally on top of each other, right? So you would read them quickly. Then there's a small space in between them to get to the third panel, which is cool because technically you would read it in slow motion to some degree. You have two characters running towards each other to some degree. You have a guy kicking the ball upwards and the ball is spinning, and you can see little after images of the ball spinning in the direction it is going. So it has a slight trail to it and after image effect. You can also see kind of the background in there. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a bit of detail, or yeah, I guess it would be detail, to the ground shadows right there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of detail to the sky area, which will be clouds. And then boom, right at the last panel, you know, we're going to get rid of a lot of that so we can focus mainly on what he kicked here and what they're both looking like they're going towards attacking. here. And I instantly realize a mistake. See, this line is not supposed to be here. Alright. Actually, did not need to do that. Let's go ahead and select the top area. So since this is this way, all I have to do is select the value that is the lightest to some degree, and yeah. I mean, it's the lightest, yet also it's darker than what's going on with the boulder at the same time. Kind of don't like this line here. I think I'm gonna erase here and see what happens. I like that already a lot better. Okay, so it's too open. Let's see, start from this angle. Go ahead and start here. Okay, so now I have to worry about the other space. Through here, maybe. And I'm on the wrong layer. Let's make sure I don't make too big of a mistake here. Cool. Let's actually go ahead and fill that now, just to get it out the way. It is definitely not going to be black, but it could be, right? It could work. No problem with that at all. Alright, so have a border there. Go ahead and close up some of these shapes so that they don't mess with anything here. I think everything is just about closed here now. Nice. What's it looking like? Alright, and to honestly make this feel even more cohesive, I'm going to do the other side. How do I do this again exactly? Okay, I just have to create like a box. Go ahead and do that. About here. So I can stop it about right here. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and select all that. Maybe I'll expand it by just 2 pixels. Go ahead and fill that in. I know, it looks too dark. I know, it's not the final result. I just want to get this whole area. And I just chose to use black. Alright, that somewhat gives me what I want. Somewhat gives me what I want. I'll go ahead and expand. Well, let me undo that. Go ahead and expand the selection here after I grab the whole thing and move it. Now, how much do we want to go in with this one? Just how much? We need to be able to see. And I don't need that anymore because I already have it on its own layer. So now I can go ahead and create a selection. And outside of that selection, I can go ahead and, well, I can basically change this whole thing. To do that, I can do layer if I want to. Keeping that selection active, go to grayscale, multiply, and now I can go to gradation or gradient, pick the circular one, wherever that is. Click the wrong one. There we go. Alright, if we don't like that, do it again. That looks pretty freaking cool. Do it again. Do I like that though? I kinda like it. I kinda like it. So I can play with that, right? So I have that right there. I could also just have kept that selection, honestly. See here, reselect. And now I can go ahead and go to the rulers. And now I'm going to pick a focal point, or focal, oh, it's radial, isn't it? Radial line. Just going to go with that. I'm going to put that joint about right here. And now I'm going to start grabbing some tools. Here's my radial line tool. See if I use this right here, what will it look like? Looks like that. I swear I have a different one or a different setting with it. Never feels like I'm using it the right way. Oh great, where did my let me guess, it creates its own. Or it got too close, whichever one it was. That's interesting. Does it have an object selection thing? It's very interesting. Doesn't do exactly how I want it to. And it also isn't pointing where I need it to go. Yeah, that's interesting. This is very interesting, actually. Either way, I like it. I like fiddling with this part. But I always feel like that's not what I wanted. That just does that. If I make it smaller, does it get bigger? No. It doesn't even get where I need it to go. Oh, undo. Okay, and it has its own layer there. That's not the effect I was going for. I'm gonna play with that a bit more later. This is burst. What does that look like? Nothing. On the right there. Yep. Oh, nice. I just got the message from my wife that my book has shipped. I ordered Framed Ink 2, and it will be here Monday, I believe. So that's great. Now, what do you look like? You're not the one I'm looking for. So there's this one brush that I have, which I guess I have to find at this point. And it kind of does the job I'm looking for it to be on the paper. I just have to find it. I feel like it was actually in the airbrush tools, but it is not. And radio feels like it's the right one, but it is also not, because it's not going towards, well, it does, but then it doesn't go far enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to play with that later. Alright, there's another way to get this done. We can just use soft and erase outward. But see, that my only problem with that is like it's literally going to be too soft, and now it looks like there's a light shining over here or something. But that's not the effect I'm going for. It's a lot of stuff to select from in Clip Studio, and I just have to try it out more. What was that just now? Okay, so this thing makes its own layer, so I have to take it off of that. This is the right layer now. Okay, so it says always create layer, draw an editing layer. Okay, that too looks great and awesome and all that good stuff, but also not what I'm looking for. That looks actually really cool. I wonder if I can make that look even better. So that might be a little bit much though. Yeah, lots of options, right? Like, but it's also like, see, now I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, I would actually like that on its own layer. How do I find anything? You just get used to where everything is. Uh, Unfortunately, that's the cool thing, right? Is everything you see here is something I actually will use, because you can actually take off everything if you don't want it there. All right, so this time I put it on its own layer, and that's I'm just like, dang it, what am I looking for here? It's kind of difficult to get it. What is saturated line layer? Does that do anything for me? If I do that? No. Okay, so we're gonna go back to just this middle one. No, on this one. Hold up, that might be kind of what we're looking for. Yeah. My only problem is it doesn't go long enough, so I guess I would change the length. So I have 400, let's try that much, right? See, that's all I had to do. Now we can also do the brush size. Make it a bit bigger, like 12-ish. It's actually not that great. About like 3. What does that look like? How is it not going through there? Funny thing is, I know I'm gonna probably just lighten this up a little bit. So it's not hopefully too overwhelming. The good thing is I can also just use black and literally paint directly over it. Okay, so I would make it a little bit darker. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I could just put a light source, I mean a shadow directly on the other side of it. So I would go back down to, what is this here? It's 100% right? No, that's wrong. Wait, why is this one weird? Why is that one only 50-something percent? Doesn't that mean I changed everything? Let me see. What percent is it? 53? Yeah, it does change everything there. That's fine. So what I'm going to do is make this one on the side darker. So that is what I'm going to do. So again, this is character art. That is those backgrounds there. And it's at 100% now. So what I want to do is make this last panel a bit darker. But actually, not too dark, right? I mainly want to... Okay, so I can go ahead, grab this, grab black, hairbrush, and start from the side. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I wanted. It's exactly what I wanted. Alright. So with the way I did this, I'm thinking, okay, what I really should have done is extend this panel over here on the side and just made it go all the way to the edge. There was no point in even having him overlap with that panel. So I have the option to do that now, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to try and match that circle, or this arc right here going back from where the boulders flying past his shoulders. Let me see here, this is black. And how I'm going to do that is just, I'm going to go to the top and make a new folder. I'm just going to make it a grayscale, and it's going to be a normal layer, which means it's just going to sit right on top of everything. And since I know that that's going to be pure white anyway, yeah, mainly it's going to be pure white right now. And just go ahead and try and make that curve myself. Now, of course, I could just use the curve line tool. But, nope. Alright, since we know this needs to also be perfectly, well not perfectly, but straight here, I'm going to go ahead and try and chop off this part at the top. We got that. I'm going to do it again here. Zooming in definitely helps with this. I'm eyeballing it. See who missed that? Weird. Keep missing this little line here. Got it that time. Alright. And now I definitely want to go use the dang on curve line tool just because it's not as curved as I want it to be here. Okay, I'm okay with that. Go ahead and wait, I thought I was on the right layer. I need this layer here, which is, yep, okay, that's fine. I instantly click the other layer. Uh-huh, so that's the shape it was supposed to be. And if I zoom in really close, I can kind of also see these little debris patterns. There used to be a brush I would use to kind of accentuate this type of thing. I wonder what it was called. It was a while ago. Pretty sure it was a pattern brush. I don't see anything that looks like it would be it. No, we're not going to use that one. So it's turned off, this one, right? So it's probably best to work from this layer to some degree. So let's see what we get. I feel like this isn't working. Oh, it's because it says 62. Is there something else that needed to be turned down? I don't think so. Now that that's there, am I missing anything else? $62 seems fine there. I just need to get rid of this one little value thing that's just hanging on for dear life over here. And it's saying that, okay, it's from this layer. I'm just gonna get an eraser this time. Other tools didn't seem to work well. Cool. So we can go ahead and add some stuff here. Right, you wouldn't even see that. feel like this is decent, but something's missing. I feel like that's okay. Make it darker, but also it wouldn't work that way. So I feel like that's okay right there. I might beef up some line work here and there. I could also go ahead and start to essentially like do this, add a little bit more detail to, of course, okay. Just move it up and go above. Okay. So got this trail going right here. And the thing about the trail is it's majority a lighter value. And that's what I want to keep it as, a lighter value. No matter how much little small stuff I add to it, it should be read mostly as a white light source, or not a light source, but a white value, a light value. Alright, I'm liking where it's going. It's not too much more to do here and there. Gotta do some spot cleaning, add some small sound effects and things of that nature where they need to go. I know I need to add like see this guy's pants leg joint on one side, it's not on the other side. So I need to add that. It's not really hard to do, so I'll be doing that a bit later. But yeah, I definitely like this last panel. Again, I'm playing with lighting here, you know, I'm kind of going from like these lighter, these kind of mid-range, and then to darkness here. So that'll be cool. When I come back to like the next page and everything. This was the previous page, which I kind of feel like it's mainly done. Kind of gets you to the next pages well enough. Has a decent flow and everything to it. I'm even starting to see stuff that I didn't initially. I think oh, that guy's there. That's funny. Uh, but I kind of didn't even initially realize. Starting to see like this different flow, right? Like I kind of see something like this right now. Actually, I'm going to use blue. No, I'll stick with red. So I'll pick this, right? I'm starting to see something like kind of like this. So that's pretty cool. I like that shape. Has a decent flow to it. It's not the way you're supposed to read it, right? It's supposed to be like, you know, right? Actually, that's wrong too. It's like this, right? You're supposed to read it like this. And then it just so happens that, you know, this is happening too. Which kind of brings you there. But, yeah. You know what? Technically, wouldn't Wouldn't it be like you read this, and you go here, go around, you end up reading that? Either way, you know, that last bubble is last. Anyway, in these last two pages here also, I have like some dead space over here that I want to add some things here. So it could be some line work, whatever it is, it needs to be there because it looks kind of dead over there, and your eye goes to it, and that's the bad part. You know, you want people to stay on the story and stay on the characters and kind of understand what something is and move from there. So definitely gonna be hitting up those areas there, and let's save this already. Let me turn off this layer here, and definitely gonna be fixing up these hands over here. So hopefully over the weekend actually, I'll hit up some of this stuff and we can go over it in like Monday's video and stuff like that. But this one is also really cool. I really like the way this turned out. Took a little bit of experimentation and going through some of my tools. I try to use very consistent tools, but I also have a bunch of tools on the side where I know I can experiment and have fun with. Kind of throw in a different thing every now and then, but I always try to like balance it out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to end stream and everything. If you guys like the content I'm throwing up, be sure to subscribe and all that good stuff. If you guys feel like, oh no, I missed the stream or something like that, all of my videos are up and probably gonna stay up. I don't really have a reason to kind of take them down at the moment. I think it's a cool thing to have people be able to even find these videos and check them out. And if they can learn anything from it, that'd be dope. But yeah, I think that'll be it for now. I'll see you guys on Monday. Because I stream, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. at the moment. Um, and have a bunch of videos up and available throughout the weekend. I will be adding the rest of the videos that I didn't do yet, and I'll be adding them all to a playlist. So if you guys feel like you want to just put that joint on and chill and have it in the background or draw along and stuff like that, put that joint on in the background. I'm usually not that loud or rambunctious and stuff like that. I'm usually pretty chill. I'll talk about things every now and then, and I just draw this comic. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.